Hello and welcome to the Cute Baby Tutorials using Gimp. I may do a few things in this video, so if you want to go straight to one of the main sections, then the times they start are shown on your screen now. These videos are also available in higher definition on my website, along with any original files I'm allowed to give you in case you want to work on the same image as me. Just click on the link below. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's move on. The mother of this top baby said to me, well, I wish he was wearing a different shirt. Okay, we can do that. Let's make sure that we've got our base layer selected because that's what I want to be affecting. Now, I'm already zoomed in, but I'm going to zoom in some more. I can use all the screen. Well, I can't use the rectangle tool and I can't use the ellipse tool for this because it's neither of those shapes. So I'll come up to my toolbox and I'm going to click the next one along, the free select tool, or lasso tool as many other software programs call it. Click on it. Two things you can do with this. One is just click and start dragging. Keep your mouse button down, your left mouse button pressed down, and drag out an image like that. Or you can click once, not hold, just click, make a point, go to somewhere else, click, 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 click. I can either come back to the point there, or I can make my last point and just double click there. Now you would think with an irregular shape like this, then you would just use the first method. Yeah, I'll try doing it that way. So I'm going to come down, and I'm going pretty slowly here. If I get a slight jolt, oh dear, I've got a bit of a problem there. And if I come around a tight corner here, my mouse is now coming down to the bottom of my mouse mat, so things are getting a bit awkward. That doesn't really work that well. I'm going to select none. It's actually easier to just click, 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 and start dragging points like this. The difference is one is like you're drawing, the other one is like you're dragging out a polygon, which is what you've got here. It's a polygon, but a polygon with many different sides. And yeah, you would think a round shape like this, well, yeah, you do it freehand, but a circle's just something with many, many different sides. This is a polygon with many, many different sides. And coming around, even this round area here, it helps to use the polygon tool. Alright, nearly there. Just a relatively straight edge here, but it's not completely straight, so I'll just take a bit of time with this. Come up to the end. Still with me? Still awake? Hope so. And there you go, there's my polygon shape. Now I didn't realise, but apparently the shirt colour's got to change, but the button's got to stay the same colour. Ah, great, not a problem. No, it's not a problem. I'll click on the ellipse tool, second one along, and it's already on expand from centre, so I'm going to come here. I'm going to make sure I hold down Control or Command and drag out the selection there. I'll click to commit, and there's the button in the area. Okay, so what else would I do with this? Well, in photographs you never ever really get a hard edge. If you come in really close here, you can see this dark blue bit here and the light blue bit here. You've got a few pixels which are kind of halfway in between. That's to make the picture look smoother. Otherwise you get something called the jagged, which is not nice at all. A very kind of sharp effect there. So I'm going to come up to select, and I'm going to feather. I'm not going to feather by 200 pixels. I'm going to try feathering by just a small amount, 2 pixels. It means I'm going to get a less abrupt transition from dark to light. I can come up to colours and say I'll come to levels, and I can select just that area there, but that commits me to using that colour change on that particular area. There's a more flexible way of doing this. So I'm going to cancel that. There we go. Right, let's just zoom out just a little bit, see what we're looking at. Instead of using that layer directly, I'm going to take base and I'm going to put another transparent layer on top of it. Drag it over, transparency, and I'll use the dialog box now. I'm going to call this shirt. And there's my shirt layer. Now I'm going to make sure I've reselected the base layer and I'm going to come to Edit, Copy. Now I'm going to click on my shirt layer. That's the layer I want to copy to, and I'm going to come to Edit, Paste, which will paste those images onto that layer. Important tip with this before I do, keep this area selected. If you don't and you press paste, the selection might come off to one side, which you don't really want. So make sure it's still selected, come to Edit, Paste. Okay, you can't see anything there at the moment. If you come over to the Layers palette, Floating Selection Pasted Layer, I'm going to right click on this, or Command click, and I'm going to come down to Anchor Layer. Now, if I make my base layer invisible, and I make my selections layer invisible as well, there you go. There's my shirt isolated, ready for me to do whatever I want with it, duplicate it in case I want to experiment with it. I can make my changes there. So now I'll make sure my shirt layer is selected and I can do whatever I want with it. Let's try hue saturation, see what happens with that. Click on overlap, move the hue around, and oh yeah, we're changing it to, oh, that's a gorgeous color there. All right, we'll go with that. There's no need to go overboard with this. Right, so now the shirt's changed. Let's take a look at the image now. Control, middle mouse wheel, and scroll down. There we go. There's our two little puppets looking all lovely. So now the mother comes to me and she says, well, actually, that red sleep suit, could that be a different color as well? Yeah, fine. Okay, we can do that, which brings us on to the next of our tools. Okay, so this tool is called the Fuzzy Select tool. Select a contiguous region on the basis of color. Quite a mouthful. This tool and this tool, the Select by Color tool, they work very similarly, but there's one or two differences which we'll go over. But for now, click on Fuzzy Select. Okay, now before I start, I need to make sure that my base layer is selected, so I'm selecting colors from that layer and not any other. And then I'll try the sofa first. I'll click on an area of the sofa and, oh, so what's this done? This has taken the color that I clicked on, selected it, and also any other colors which are close to it, it's also selected. If I wanted to select more colors, I'm going to do Undo Fuzzy Select. If I take the threshold up to, say, about 40, it was on 15, now it's on 40, and I click again, you can see the threshold is higher, so more colors get selected. But you can see now I'm starting to select the baby's faces, which is not what I want. Let's come back to Edit, Undo Fuzzy Select. Alright, well, I'll take the threshold down again. Okay, it's on about 17.6. Let's see how we get on with that. And now I want to select the baby's sleep suit. Okay, that's not bad. Now I hold down Shift to add to the selection. Shift add, Shift add. Wherever I can see a small area outside of the marching ants, click on that area. One good point with this, when you're using this or the other color selection tool, don't be zoomed in. The reason you don't want to be zoomed in is because you might end up selecting a part of the image which is hidden because it's not part of the zoom window. You make your changes to it, and then when you zoom out, you realize you've affected another area. Now, I've got lots of little bits in there, but rather than carry on with that, I can use another selection tool and add to this. So the best tool for this would be the Free Select tool. Click on that. Now I can zoom in on this area and use my screen more effectively. Click on there. You can see there are certain bits on the inside which do need correcting. So the important thing is that the outline, which is what I want, that's looking better. So I'm going to click on Shift to add to my selection. Start coming around, losing those bits. Okay, it's a bit of a chore having to do it by freehand, so I'm just going to do as before. I'm going to do the polygon, select all the areas that I want. I've got one or two fiddly bits there which I'm going to have to take a look at. How am I doing? Nearly there. I'm just doing this pass just to lose all the inside areas. Alright, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more in some areas, like the area around the hand. I can see there's 1 or 2 stray pixels there, like here. Come back to my lasso tool. Get these areas here. Now I'm working faster than I would normally work because time is really pushing on with this video, and I'm not getting quite the crisp areas like this. These bits here. Normally you take your time, get it right, do things like that. I'm not going to go overboard with this. Let's just control and middle mouse wheel to come down. There's also bits here. Oh, sure. I know I should hurry, but I hate seeing stuff like that. So just get rid of that and see what we've got. Now I know I can work some more on this, but I think we've run out of time to do that. So I'm going to come to my base layer, click on a new layer. I'm going to call this suit, transparency, OK. So now come back to my base layer where all the pixels are, click on edit, copy, come back to my suit layer and edit, paste. And then floating selection, pasted layer, click on there, right click and anchor layer. Alright, let's see what we've got here. We have now got, there you go, there's our suit. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, maybe you consider clicking on one of the links below and check out my game called Disco Baby, which is on the iTunes Store or Android stores like Google Play. It has 3 different games in it, a memory game, a maths game for children, and a dance along with me game for toddlers to join in with. Thanks for your time.